I'll do another video about another cult that I know pretty well. And by the way, I may have already covered a lot of this stuff, but I'm not gonna go back through there. But I may have already covered a bunch of this stuff. But I figure I should do it in detail a little bit. I really don't know what I did in past videos. Like, I don't go around watching my videos. I don't edit my videos. I just freaking record them and I throw them on YouTube. And hopefully they're good enough for you to, get something out of it. Hopefully I got my flesh out of the way enough, which pray for me on that. But Mormonism is not Christianity, okay? Mormonism is not Christianity. It is a cult. It is its own religion, okay? It references the Bible to make its claims for its religion. It took the Bible and from Christianity, from the scripture, mutated a horrible thing, okay? And so, all right, why they're not Christians? First off, let's examine the guy that they got it all from, how Mormonism started. There's this guy named Joseph Smith who's on the run from the law, and he was a crook. Let me just say that first and foremost. He was a crook. I think he was on the run from the law after, but by illegal means, he made Mormonism in the first place. I mean, really, look up Joseph Smith. He was a false prophet, absolute wolf, and yeah, dude, sketchy. And so, thing is, look into him. But he was a pedophile. Like, he had like a 14-year-old wife and whatever. And like, his whole thing, Mormonism is predicated on con artistry. One of the first things he does is, comes to his wife after him and this dude get together and make this crap up and says, oh, God said you had to be okay with me having other wives. Okay? Like, if you actually get into Mormonism and you can't see this is a man-made cult, you either you have an issue, like, you got to be able to see it. Like, no discernment if you can't see that. Well, so thing is so it's sad too, because there's, like, I lived out in Utah for a few months, and just the stuff that was out there, it was nuts. Those poor people, but a lot of them really don't know any better. Like, from what I've heard, they like intentionally undereducate their kids, and not only that, but like, look into their structure. Like, I think it's like 8 years old. That's when these people that call themselves bishops start having these unmonitored meetings with these kids, right? And like coercing them into Mormonism. So, it's really freaking sad. But, and they'll ask them questions like, have you ever thought a dirty thought? You have? Well, let's take that. Let's make a note of that. Sketchy like girlfriends. Like, for real, man. But, that wind's cold, boy. Thing is, though, they believe that part of what they do, and this is why it's such an effective con, because they tell people that, they tell people that if they are a good little Mormon, that one day they'll get, like, they say that, like, one day they'll go and be the God over their own universe, the man will, and him and his spouse will go and have celestial sex for all of eternity, populating the universe they preside over, because they look at like this: God is, God the Father is like the head over a multiverse, And everybody who is a good little Mormon gets to go and become the god over their own universe, right? And so at least that's how it is for the men. I don't know about the women, yeah. So, all right. Now, if that don't say like man-made cult, I just don't know what does. But wait, there's more. Thing is, yeah. So, crap. What was it? Yeah. So then, I mean, like, and they have all kinds of weird little laws. Like, they will not drink coffee, but they'll drink Mountain Dew. From what I heard, like, it was silly when I was out there. And like, not only that, so I actually went to a Mormon cult, building one time because I didn't know any better. Still pretty new to Christianity and whatever. And, I seen church, I seen their church. I didn't even know it was a Mormon church. I just seen a church that was open. I just got into Utah and I seen it was like, I think it was like a Wednesday night service, or it was a Saturday night service or something like that. I caught the tail end of it, didn't know what it was, and left. Then the next day, I come back, and they had their service, and like, let me tell you, like, one of their bishops caught wind that I was a preacher, and he, hang on. I'll let the siren get past. So, come on, bub. So yeah, he caught wind that I was a preacher though, and he's like, Skeksis like girlflings, and he rolls up on me and starts like telling me how they suckered this old man to donate like millions of dollars of farm equipment to the LDS church, right? It was like, what? Or the LDS, whatever you want to call it. And he's sitting there like telling me, like, yes, come join us, little preacher boy. You can make so much more money. Yes, underage girls. Yes. Like, because they have all kinds of weird crap going on in the Church of Latter-day Saints. Okay, like, there's some stuff, and so yeah, I mean, like, for freaking real. So, all right, now. Go up here in my apartment, get my freaking hat on. My little ears are getting cold. There's another one. Alright, so anyhow. Yeah, but it smells like poop in here, man. Chew. That's nasty. But, oh no, that's funny. That's the roast I got cooking. At the bottom of the stairs, it smells bad though, but when you come up here, it smells good. Anyhow, that's funny. So yeah, but yeah, like, so then, what else do they believe? They believe that, like, the New Testament isn't like they believe like the New Testament is basically like the Middle Testament and the Book of Mormon, which is their little Bible, their wannabe Bible. They believe that is the real, that is the newer Testament. And the New Testament of Jesus Christ is like the Middle Testament, right? And, dude, it's freaking nuts. It's unbiblical. It's a con. It is a huge con, and you'll know fake religion when you can see that they're conning people with it. I mean, because like a real legit walk with Jesus Christ and real ministry, it's self-denying, right? A real ministry is self-denying, and it's for the good of others, not for self, and it's one thing if like your preacher is you know, it's one thing if like he's got a parsonage and whatever, and he's given his whole life to it, and like, you know, whatnot. But the thing is it's a whole nother thing. And like, because if that's his whole life, and let's say he was a missionary and whatever, like, you know, Paul at one point depended on the giving of others, you know, just to live. And that's fine, you know, but is he willing to work though? You know, or is he just mooching? You see, there's ways to look at this. But yeah, but the thing is like when they tell you, oh, you owe us the first 10% of your income. Yeah, that's when it's a con. Okay, that's a con. Or they don't know any better themselves and they're being conned out. But either way, it's a con. That ain't right. You know, and that's another thing. From what I heard, the Mormons, they like make you sign up like your financial institution information, and they apparently take like the first 10% out of your bank account. Like, straight up, it goes right to them directly. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa. And you know, they got these people so whipped. These people don't know any dang better. Like, no, it ain't so windy. I can fix my hair and look pretty for you guys. But, yeah. But, oh man. Look at that little flip. You see that little flip? Anyhow. Thing is though is so yeah, man, but yeah, like then so yeah, they believe you have celestial sex forever. Oh, that's another thing. They believe that they have this thing called spirit babies. Okay, where they say that, you know, basically, I think it's like God's having celestial sex or whatever, and that's what's making babies, you know, because like that's what inhabits the universes is, you know, these different gods over these little Mormon gods over their own universes having celestial sex, making these babies, and that nobody's born unless they were a spirit baby, right? And dude, there's some stuff out there like, they believe that the priesthood of Aaron is like rejuvenated through the Book of Mormon and whatever. Dude, there is some stuff in it. I've got a Book of Mormon. I haven't read it yet. I do intend to read it eventually. But like, and they got these really cool pictures in it. I'm sitting there like, and they play to your flesh big time. Like I had this one dude when I was out in Kansas and I had my Utah license plate, seen a Utah license plate, and he goes, oh, brethren, you know, comes in there, Mosey's in there. He ain't got no laundry to do. And the dude don't even know me from Adam. And he starts starts picking my brain. And he's like, oh, you were out in Utah. What'd you think about Utah? I was like, oh, it was great. But the Mormons are everywhere. Like, you know, they're a cult. And he's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm a Mormon. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, sorry, but it's the truth. It's a cult, you know. And so me and this dude sit there and talk for probably like an hour. And he's like trying to coax me into Mormonism. And he's talking about how like these little 14-year-old girls flirt with him and whatever. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you know, and he's trying to coax me into it by like basically telling me like, yeah, we get a lot of tail in there. And like, and that's the other thing. Like, dude, I'm telling you, they like genetically engineer people. I swear it. Because like, I think they do selective breeding. Because well, they're all pretty. They're like almost all pretty. It's strange. And it's like, okay, what's going on here? You know, but for real, I mean, like, you got the Utah, dude, like, some of these girls, like, I like, one day, dude, I swear, I was in Monticello, Utah, I seen this freaking, this girl was like, I just happened to look up, and there's this, like, girl that was, like, more beautiful than any supermodel I've ever seen, and, like, that was a common thing in Utah. Like, it's weird, dude. I'm telling you, they're doing selective breeding or something. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but Or they done hooked up with the Navajos and the Star Brothers, and the Star Brothers are doing selective breeding. That's Native American for aliens. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of spooky. It's like some Children of the Corn stuff, and I mean, like, dude. So, out in Utah, they take over towns. Like, in the town I was in, Blanding, Utah, there is 2 churches that are actual churches. One is the Church of God, which, they preach false it's an Assembly of God, which that's a whole that's a whole can of worms in of itself too, because they're basically a cult as well. But then there was a Baptist. Okay, now the Baptist was legit. Now the Church of God the Church of God's the same way. The Pentecostals, dude, they're basically a cult too. I'm sure there's some good ones, but like, it's not biblical. It's at least false doctrine. If it's not a cult, it is at least false doctrine. And so, which is still a bad thing, obviously. But yeah, so the thing is though, but the rest of them, I swear, like in this little town I was in, I'm telling you, dude, I think there was like 2 or 3 LDS churches. Like, and one was massive, dude. Like, one was massive. And I think it was almost probably like 4 or 5 of them. And this was not a big town. Like, I'm freaking telling you, like, it was not a big town at all. Like, you could, from the road leading into town, because, it's the desert, you pretty much see the road leading out of town. Or at least, like, right where it's at. I mean, it was a small freaking town out in the middle of the desert, right? And out in Utah, that you got towns that are, but I'm sure there are people that lived outside of town, like, out in the desert or whatever that came in, but still, it's like, dude. And, they take over towns out there, and, I mean, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. But they're a cult. And the ones I'm going to stray away from talking about, because I just don't know as much about them as I do about the Catholics and the Mormons, is Seventh-day Adventism. That is a cult. I do know why, because they still try to keep the Sabbath and whatever, and like they don't understand dispensationalism and whatever. They don't understand the Bible. They try to keep part of the law, not the whole law. So they're a cult. And then there's Jehovah's Witnesses, which I don't understand all of that. I'm not going to lie, but I do know that they are a cult. I don't know all the facets of it, but when you see how they operate, any church that functions like a secret society it's not legit. Real Christianity ain't got nothing to hide. We're here and we're open about it, and we want you to come in and join us. When there's stuff like that going on, beware. Man, my ear hurts now from being out there without a hat. Me being stupid, man. I don't know any better. But yeah, so I think that'll be good for now. Pray for me. I always need it, and I'm serious. I really need your prayer. And the big thing I need prayer for is a home church. I would love to have a home church. I go to different churches every week, and almost every time they're either preaching out of one of the perversions, so it's not what I need to hear. It's not the meat, or they're either doing that, they're preaching false doctrine, they're false, or something. There is some falsehood. And it just drives me nuts, because I do want to go and be a part of a real church family. But, and honestly, the big thing is doctrine. As long as the doctrine's right, I don't care. And maybe I'm going to have to do the preaching of the proper doctrine. That'd be fine too, because that's what I'm called to do anyways. But, so pray for me for guidance and a good church home. That's what I really want. And also for, wisdom and strength and patience. I need all those. But yeah, yeah, that'd cover everything. All right. Well, yep. Peace out. Goodbye, YouTube. Goodbye.